there's an intensity to online dating and a rushed timeline that can put you in a dangerous position if you have any level of fear of not finding your person, of running out of time, of, oh, can I have kids? I have to get married by 30. You know, these stories. If you have any level of scarcity or a belief that the person that you're looking for is not out there, and so you have to make it work with somebody, if any of this lives in your system, you can be very susceptible to an unhealthy and or abusive person coming in and toying with and exploiting the scarcity in your mindset. So let me give you the story, because this is what I woke up feeling into and thinking about. So I had met this guy on Hinge, and we made some voice notes back and forth. Y'all know I love a voice note. It gives you so much. I mean, go back to our episode about how to stand out on dating apps. We talk all about voice notes. But we were going back and forth. I felt like there was good chemistry, a vibe, like, you know, almost like the Buzz Lightyear meme where it's like a sign of intelligent life. Like, it's just somebody who like excited me and who I feel was different, you know, had an edge. And so I was excited going back and forth. And he asked for my number. We started texting. He was on like a work trip when we were texting. So there was like a built up anticipation to our first date. He had planned this concert date, which I thought was pretty cool, and sent like an Uber. He was in the Uber. It picked me up. And pretty immediately, even though we had gone back and forth on voice note and text for like a week and a half, he was very handsy with me, like inappropriately. And I just share these details because in my gut, I knew I was not comfortable with that. But something kicked in. I don't know quite how to explain it. And I've mentioned this on the show many times before, that I felt like a rag doll in my experiences many times throughout my life. And I have like a freeze that comes over me. And so I think even though he was being handsy, it wasn't too much. Like it was just enough. It was like towing a line of like, I don't even know you, but like, okay, I guess this is fine. And I only mention this because I had this feeling from the very beginning of when I met him in person that there was something rushed about the relationship and about his energy. Like he was trying to quicken the timeline of intimacy between us. And I felt it, but I couldn't wrap my logical mind around it. Now I know, looking back, that this was a warning sign, as we talk about all the time, that's like there's no need for a healthy person to move that quickly and assert themselves in a weird way that makes you feel almost like a rush of hormones artificially before you're ready, and letting them unfold naturally, which can really mess up your decision making. So it starts like that. Our second date comes and we go to dinner, and almost like the first thing out of his mouth was like, I want you to be my girlfriend. And this is the second date, right? After the first date was pretty good, I would say. But he hits me with this, and I was just so shocked because I had gone back on the dating apps, and he was like the first guy that I went on a date with. Like it literally felt like my heart was open enough to go back out there. I went on this date, and now I'm on a second date, and this guy is like trying to lock it down. And I was just bewildered. I in one hand, I was like, well, like, this is what I wanted, right? Because like I want somebody who's like really wants me and is choosing me with a fervor and a passion, but also like, this is super fast. I don't even really know this guy. So he says this, and then I just respond saying, hey, I just started dating again. Like literally a week ago when we started talking, I started getting into the mindset of going on dates again. So I wasn't really planning to commit to somebody this quickly. I would like to get to know you more. And his response was like, really, it like just blew me back. It had a lot of energy. It had a lot of like subtle anger in it, where he was just like, well, if you don't think I'm the one for you, then we should just call it here. Like, we just shouldn't go on any more dates. Like, this should just be it. And something triggered in me. I'm telling you, it's about the scarcity. Something flared up where I was like, no, like, it's okay. Like, no, we can figure it out. And something flipped in my head where I was like, oh, this is the last man on earth. And I don't know if it's a woman experience or if you can relate to anything that I'm saying, but his reaction to me trying to say this is going too fast made me second guess my own knowing and my own discernment. So I ended up trying to be like, okay, listen, this feels like it's moving really fast. Like, I don't know what the right move is, but I'd like to continue getting to know you. And he was like, well, if you want to continue getting to know me, you need to just delete the apps. And I don't want you talking to any other men. And again, this should have been a flag, but our personalities gelled. He wanted the same things I wanted. He was serious. Like, I remember on that date, I mean, this is such a red flag central. I was like, Liz, we're not going to have sex for a long time. I celibate dated for a while. And I'm going to get to know you. And if you're thinking that us being a couple is going to fast track intimacy, that's not going to happen. And I made it very clear. I was like, I really don't want to get sexual with a man before I know him for a long time, or even better, if we're engaged. And I know that we're going to be married. And he was like, well, I'd propose to you tomorrow. I was like, I'm telling you, I'd never been more bewildered by somebody's, but there was something about it. Now, this is my wound that I needed to work through that was like so resolute. Like, when you hear a man be like, oh no, you're it. Like, it's you. And I'm not going anywhere. And you're what I want. And I guess you don't think you want me. And then you're like, oh, it feels good to be chosen when you have a wound around being chosen. So it just hit me in the right way, like the perfect spot of the game of operation. It just hit the perfect place that made me like continue to not only go along with it, but just be swept up in it. And that relationship did not last for very long, thankfully. I think all in all, it was like 4 or 5 months, but he got his way. I deleted the apps. I stopped talking to other men. We were boyfriend, girlfriend. The sex did not happen, I will say. So I did stay firm on that. But it ended up being my most unhealthy and abusive relationship with someone who had anger issues. I feel because I abandoned my intuition and my inner voice that went off from the second I got into the Uber the first time we met. So when Danielle said, there's something about online dating that shortens the timeline, makes it a very intense experience where things move very fast, that is what it awakened in me, was like this experience I had with this one guy. And I feel like that experience is what women especially have become afraid of. And that's why there's this weird relationship with the apps. And it's not just the experience of falling into the arms of somebody who wants to rush intimacy and bypass all of the unfolding and the getting to know you. It's also having the rejection merry-go-round of nice guys who just aren't it because we're not saying that soon enough, but then we get 3 dates and they want us to be their girlfriend. So there's just something about these factors on dating apps that's causing an overwhelm in almost everybody I've talked to about them.